Hey guys, I'm Dr. Jason Barker with the Natural Athletes Clinic, and today I'm going to tell you how you can reduce the incidence and the severity of exercise-induced asthma. So most of you know that asthma is a lung disease whereby the bronchioles, or the little tubes that we breathe through, become constricted, and actually a large part of asthma is inflammation too. So you have constricted and inflamed bronchioles. Now, first things first, whenever we're dealing with asthma, we always look at diet. I've had lots and lots of athletes come in the clinic over the last 18 years, and we used to do a lot of food sensitivity tests, and I've kind of stopped doing them on a lot of these people because time after time, the top culprits that they are sensitive to are dairy foods and wheat. So if you take dairy out of your diet and or wheat, I can guarantee you that you're going to have a reduced incidence of asthma already. It may not get rid of it totally, but it'll definitely cut things down for you quite a bit. Dairy is never a good idea for anybody with asthma in general, just because a side effect of eating dairy is that it creates mucus in your body, and specifically in your respiratory tract. So if you've got asthma, your lungs are already inflamed, you're already making lots of mucus, you add dairy on top of that, you're adding in more mucus, and of course it's going to be harder and harder for your lungs to exchange that oxygen like they're supposed to do. So cut out the dairy, cut out the wheat. Now, the second thing to think about with the foods is eating lots of antioxidant-rich foods. So antioxidant-rich foods are, of course, the very colorful foods. So think carrots, think bell peppers, think berries, and of course, don't forget your green leafies. We want these foods because they're rich in the antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin C, zinc, and selenium. And remember that by the mnemonic ACEs. So look for foods that are rich in ACEs type antioxidants. Okay, so supplements. What supplements should you take if you suffer from asthma? First one is to get lots of magnesium in your diet. And I talk about magnesium a lot in these videos. In fact, all athletes should probably be taking magnesium because of the relaxing effects it has on your muscles throughout your body. Now, you also have muscles around your bronchioles, very tiny smooth muscles, and smooth muscle is the type of muscle that's around our organs rather than in the skeletal system. Magnesium is actually really good at relaxing the smooth muscles in the lungs. So if you have asthma, dose up on magnesium. Make sure you keep it constant in your system throughout the day. Second supplement to take that's very important is one called N-acetyl cysteine. N-acetyl cysteine, or NAC as it's called, is an amino acid complex, and it does two really interesting things for your lungs that'll help you breathe better. First one is it actually can thin the mucus. It breaks up those proteins that are in that mucus, thins it so that your lungs can get that stuff out of there. You actually have little tiny hairs inside of your bronchioles, and they're always kind of beating to get that mucus and all the junk and the dust and all the debris that you breathe in up and out of your lungs. So if your mucus is thinner, you can get that stuff out of there more readily. Okay, and then the other thing that NAC does is that it creates a very, very powerful antioxidant known as glutathione. So glutathione works throughout our body, but glutathione is also very specific for a healthy lung function. In fact, in the clinic, we can have asthmatics inhale a nebulized or an aerosol version of glutathione, and it'll get rid of asthma attacks very, very quickly. So bump up your NAC in your diet, and you'll have more glutathione and less airway reactivity because of it. Okay, third and final supplement you want to be on is omega-3 fatty acids or fish oils. Again, I think everybody should probably be on these. And again, because they are so powerful, reducing inflammation in your body. And again, lungs are a very easily inflamed part of your body. So if you're suffering from inflammation anywhere, it may wind up in your lungs. And of course, asthmatics, we're always dealing with inflammation, whether you're wheezing or not. That inflammatory process is going on in there. So get as much omega-3 as you can in your diet, of course, from cold water fish, some nuts and some seeds, and then supplementing with a fish oil is always a good idea to top those levels off. Good studies with reducing asthma in endurance athletes using omega-3 fatty acids. And in fact, endurance athletes like swimmers are more susceptible to asthma because we think of the chlorine byproducts are irritating to the lungs. And then cross-country skiers, of course, because of all the cold air that they're breathing in and out, increases that sensitivity and inflammation in their lungs. And by the way, even if you don't have asthma, but you go out on those cold days and you wind up with that smoker's cough after being out in the cold, use some NAC, and again, it'll thin that mucus and decrease that inflammation you've got going on. Okay, guys, I hope this helps. Try all of these tips. Make sure you do the diet. Make sure you look for the ACEs antioxidants, magnesium, NAC, and fish oil, and I bet we'll get rid of your asthma, or will greatly decrease the incidence and the severity of your asthma. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video. Please share it with any of your buddies that have asthma, and of course, please subscribe to our channel.